Hello everyone, welcome back to Chills and Thrills with the Texan Terrors.
The
Last
Texan
time
Terrors.
we were doing a story, part one of Borrasca, and part one is really just chapter one. Um, we linked the story in the description for the first video as well as the second one. If you haven't seen the first one, I recommend you go watch it first, and maybe do a little bit of subscribing and liking, just a recommendation. But now we're doing the second chapter, and I think what happened previously is that Whitney, which is Sam's sister, went missing. The cops think she went with her ex-boyfriend in St. Louis, but Sam thinks she was taken by the skinned men. And at the end of the story, we can hear the machine or the metal grinding in the mountain area.
Yeah, yeah. That I think. Yeah, that's pretty much right.
So chapters two, um, I've read some of it. It seems like uh, it doesn't start off immediately from chapter one, but a little bit after. So, uh, once again, I'm reading this along with y'all. Alex has already read the story, so
Yeah, I'm here just like I'm like Doctor Evil with my my pinky at my mouth. Like,
well, without further ado, let's get started with the story. Underneath a triple tree, there is a man who waits for me, and should I go or should I stay, my fate's the same either way. Oh, okay, so I'm pretty sure that's the thing you have to recite before you enter the treehouse. And I'm actually assuming that Whitney didn't say that, but only carved her name into the ladder where Sam carved his name. So I'm assuming that she thought it was stupid or something, and she just didn't read the recital, and that she gets taken from there.
yeah.
That's
I'm
just a game theory. All right, that's just a game theory.
I'm neither gonna confirm nor deny any of your theories.
Okay. Um. All right. Good morning. The words faded back into the ether, and I woke up. And I awoke with a start. Jimmy Prescott was lounging against the wall near the door, an amused yet disapproving look on his face. Shit, sorry, Mr. Prescott. I didn't hear you come in. I worked here when I was a kid. I installed the bell on the door for this very reason. It didn't seem to wake you up, though. He laughed. I mumbled another apology and idly straightened a stack of business cards in front of me. Late night? Kinda. It was a very late night. I hope you weren't out at the bonfires with all the other underage drinkers. No, sir. Definitely was. Good. Anyway, I'm just here for my lunch. I'll take a Parmesan chicken with an avocado on rye. Yes, sir. Maybe that conversation was over. I walked over to the sandwich counter and unwound the twisty tie from the rye bread. Jimmy Prescott stepped back from the counter and idly studied the pictures on the wall. Though he'd seen them 1,000 times before, more of the photos were the Prescott family, taken over from the last century. I always thought it was odd decor, but then the shop was named after them after all. Is Mira here? Prescott asked as I wrapped up his long sandwich. Yeah, she's in the back. I thought she'd still be in St. Louis. When you're finished, would you mind getting her for me? Shit. Yes, sir. I handed him his sandwich and went to the back to find Mira. She was in the office, furiously punching the keys on her counting calculator. Mira? Jimmy Prescott is out in front. He wants to talk to you. She turned and gave me a dubious look.
Did he say what about?
I shook my head.
Okay,
She sighed.
you can go home for the day, Sam.
Are you sure? I still had 3 hours on the clock.
He's the only customer we've had since we've opened. We don't worry. I'll pay you for the whole day, kiddo.
Thanks, Mira. Good luck, I guess. I gave her a sympathetic shrug and she patted my arm. I don't know how she did it. Mira was perhaps the most burdened and stressed out woman in all of Drisking, but she never failed to be unbelievably kind. There was hopelessness about her, a sadness that she hid very well. I left the store out the back door so I wouldn't have to see Jimmy Prescott again. His weird, yellow, ambered eyes always set me on edge. Not to mention he was an intimidating tool. It's weird that his perception of Jimmy changed from the first one to where he was intrigued by him, and now he's like totally off put. I think he's old. Is he older here?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds more like depressed.
I'm pretty sure they're like teenagers right now.
Oh, okay. Hopped in my car, and Kyle texted that he was off to work. He answered immediately and told me to come meet him. I happily whipped my apron off and threw it over my head and put the car into reverse. Crystal Lake was my favorite place in all of Drisking. I had to park almost a mile away since the lake was so packed. I eventually found Kyle and Kimber sitting on a rock that jutted out over the beach. Kimber was sunbathing in a blue flow bikini, and Kyle was wearing his "no one can tell where my eyes are looking" sunglasses. "What'd I miss?" I asked, sitting down next to Kimber.
Nothing much.
She answered, stretching and sitting up.
Just more beer.
She dug into the cooler behind her and tried to hand me a Blue Moon. No, I waved it away. Got any Excedrin?
Oh no.
Kimber gave me her "I'm sorry" pal. Okay, and then I'll just take those sunglasses. I held my hand out to Kyle, who looked back at it in horror.
What? No, fuck off. Oh, come on, Kyle. Give Sam your sunglasses. Sam didn't get to sleep off his hangover like we did.
I smiled at Kyle, and he tightened his lips. We both knew exactly what I was doing. Kimber stroked Kyle's arm in encouragement.
Please?
She asked.
Fine.
He said, and shoved his blue blockers at me. I put them on and sat back, turning my head to watch the girls on the beach below. Phoebe Danger, dark-haired girl, was there lying on the towel next to round-faced and giggling. Still seemed unnatural to me to see the two of them off without Runos. The three had been inseparable, working as fluidly together as gears in the watch until Chrissy had fallen in love with some college kid and run away.
So, why'd you get out of work early anyway?
Kyle asked. Prescott came in.
Ew.
Kimber squirmed.
He totally freaks me out. He's been staring at me since like 5th grade. Next time he stares at you, let me know and I'll knock him the fuck out.
Kyle had always been protective over Kimber, but ever since they started dating, it had gotten 10 times more unbearable. Kimber winked at him.
So, what did he want, Sam?
He wanted to talk to Mira, probably about the sandwich shop.
You mean about how no one goes there and the business should have closed years ago, but it won't because the Prescotts are stubborn and vain?
Kyle said. Yeah, probably. I mean, she looked pretty worried. I can count on one hand how many sandwiches I've sold in the past month.
Ouch.
Kimber grimaced. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's gonna get chewed out. I really don't like that guy. I thought about the squirmy, yellow-eyed freak yelling at sweet little Mira, and it made my blood boil.
You should have met his dad.
Kyle snorted.
He was a piece of work.
His dad?
Yeah, Tom Prescott?
Kimber said.
The family put him in a home a few towns over.
Why is he in a home?
I heard he got dementia and he was embarrassing the family in public.
Kyle said.
I heard that too.
Kimber brushed her long curls off her shoulders.
I was like Tom Prescott. It was a pretty shitty thing to do. Hey kids.
Nice. We turned in unison to see Phil Saunders come stomping out of the bushes behind us with Mike Sutton falling behind.
So this is where the cool people hang out. High above the kingdom on Pride Rock. Sup, Mike?
Kyle said, ignoring Phil, whom he disliked ever since Phil had briefly dated Kimber. Phil was either unaware or uninterested in Kyle's feelings. Of course, that may have also been because Phil was stoned out of his mind most of the time, and that was no exception. He sat down next to us, and Mike offered me his pipe. "You want to hit this?" I did want to hit it, pretty badly too. I reached up to grab it, but Phil swatted my hand away.
Careful, guy. You don't want to get the sheriff's son high. For fuck's sakes, Mike.
Mike nodded knowingly and shoved the pipe back into his pocket. I scowled. "Really?" "Sorry, Sammy. Hell, the only reason I'm smoking around you anyway is because today is my cousin's death anniversary. I didn't want to give you shit about anything else."
Your cousin Hannah?
Kimber asked with a sympathetic look. "Yep. 5 years she's been gone. Too many people disappear in these woods, man," Mike said as he exhaled a cloud of smoke.
You know, sometimes when I'm high, I can see them all, and I feel like I know the answer to the mystery, man. Like, I'm so close to solving it. It's just something I can see. Like, they're all puzzle pieces, and in my mind, I see the puzzle put together, but I can't tell what the picture is of, you know? You're fucking high. Oh, you're fucking high, Sanders.
Kyle said.
Well, we all are, man. We all are. Everyone in this town is drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
Kimber raised an eyebrow at him but said nothing. "Everyone except the dead ones. I can see what they look like before they went to the ground. Or is it the grounder?" "Shit, I don't know, man," Mike said to the space in front of him.
Yeah, I see all those people. Hannah, Paige, Jason Mentley. Hell, I even see your sister, Walker.
Kyle, who I knew had been monitoring the conversation and mention of this very thing, sprang to his feet and opened his mouth to yell at Phil. "Nah, Whitney Walker
No,
ran away to St. Louis, remember?" Mike said. I saw Kyle and Kimber exchange a quick look as I tried to remain impassive from behind the blue blockers.
that true, man?
Phil asked. There it was. I knew Kyle and Kimber had always wondered what I thought about Whitney and if I had ever accepted the official statement that she and Jay had run away together. They were kind enough not to bring it up, but I knew they wanted to know what I believed, what I thought really happened. I loved them both and I wanted to talk to them about it, but I just couldn't. Everyone had thought I had spent the last 7 years quietly grieving that I put the incident behind me. At least, that's what I tried to show them. Truth was, I'd never given up on Whitney. I waited years for Jay to show up on social media. When I finally found him last year, I've been devastated. I hoped the official report was right and that Whitney was somewhere far away from here, alive and happy with Jay Bauer. But his MySpace page showed a thriving teenager still living at home with his parents. His ex-girlfriend Whitney is the furthest thing from his mind. When I brought the evidence to my dad, he'd read the pages I printed off and then shut the door of his office with me on the other side. I heard him crying there for hours as I waited for him to reopen the case and bring a smackdown on the Butler County Sheriff Department. But justice had never come, and we never mentioned Jay Bower again. For whatever reason, I never told Kyle and Kimber about any of that. Maybe it was because I was worried they'd blow it off like my dad did. Or maybe, and far more likely, I didn't want them to know how obsessed I'd become with the Borrasca and the skinned men. I knew, as assuredly as the sun would rise tomorrow, that Whitney's death had happened out there, just like all the others who had gone to the triple tree. I was suddenly aware of 4 pairs of eyes staring at me. "Yeah, it's true. She ran off with this guy Jay from our hometown," I answered. That was enough for Kyle.
Alright, guys, seriously. He's the sheriff's kid. What do you think's gonna happen if he gets caught with weed?
"Little man is right. Phil, let's bounce. I don't need any more trouble with the cops around here," Mike said. "Later,
Okay.
Walker, Kimber, little man." Phil stood up, burst off his pants, jumped from the boulder onto the sandy beach below. He sprayed the sand all over a couple freshman girls who squealed and called him an unthoughtful ass. Phil tipped his invisible hat to them and said,
ladies.
before walking off. Mike followed him down, as I watched them to make sure they was on their way down to the beach, I became aware of the conversation going on behind me.
I didn't say I wanted to go. I said I had to go. It's only 2 o'clock. It's Sunday. I know, but my parents have been fighting a lot lately, and I didn't want to leave my mom alone too long. I thought she was doing better. A little, but she's still depressed, Kyle. Do you want to stay over at my place?
Kimber's voice dropped into a whisper.
I just don't. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. What? No, wait. That's not what I meant. I'd sleep on the pull-out in the basement, and you would have my room.
Very awkward silence.
My parents love you, you know.
He added. Kimber laughed.
I know. I know. I just wanted to be there for my mom right now. But thank you, sweetie.
And then absolutely disgusted the sound of my best friends kissing. I would never get used to it. On that note, I'm out of here too. I stood up and gave them both a shaming look.
Oh, come on, Kyle. Oh, come on, Kyle. Oh, come on, Sam. Don't be jealous. We'll find you a girlfriend someday.
Kyle joked. Really don't think I need your help with that, I muttered. Gliding down to the beach where Emily and Adler were sunbathing. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Last week of school.
Kimber yelled at my retreating back. Thank God. Tomorrow was the last Monday of school year. While I should have been thankful my sophomore year was ending, I wasn't. Summer meant no distractions, more time to think, and even more hours of boredom at the Prescott Artisan Sandwiches. I wasn't looking forward to for tomorrow, for another reason. Besides it being a Monday, it was also sophomore ditch day. My dad had caught on to that several weeks ago and warned me to set a good example and go to school on that day. Sometimes I really hated being the son of a cop. Kimber and Kyle were sympathetic and had offered to share my misery. I had of course said yes, much to Kyle's sadness. As I'd expected, my dad was waiting for me when I get home. We shared a brief stranded conversation of our respective days, then he finally got to it.
Remember, Sammy, we're cracking down on truancy this year. I want to see you at school tomorrow.
Yeah, got it, Dad.
And I hope I won't have to write a ticket to Kyle either.
Just the tradition. Even the teachers are sort of encouraging it. On Friday, they said,
I don't care what they said, Sam. Besides the fact that I'm the sheriff, I am also your father, and I want to see my son in school.
what a joke. I can't control what Kyle does.
Fair enough, but you can. Fair enough, but you can control what you do.
I said nothing, and Dad sighed.
It's almost over, Sam. Just get through these last 5 days and you can be done with school for a few months.
Fine. Walked out the kitchen, really into the conversation. I climbed down the stairs and passed by Whitney's door on the way to the room. The light was on, and silence was behind it. I knew my mother was in there. She was always in there, doing God knows what. I walked to my own room, shut the door behind me, and locked it. The next day of school ended up being more embarrassing than anything else. There was a few other people that hadn't skipped, and maybe a total of 10 of us. And the looks they shot at me made it clear that my dad was the reason why they were there. Kimber, great friend that she was, happily went to her classes like it was a normal day. Kyle attended all of my classes with me. The teachers, who had been looking forward for an easy day, couldn't have cared less. Just before lunch, an officer came around to all the classrooms and asked for copies of the attendance sheet. Dad really wasn't kidding about cracking down this year. I was going to get shit from people all summer. At lunch, Kyle and I went to my car to smoke. Usually, we were hidden by dozens of large pickup trucks, but today we were out in the open and vulnerable. I moved the car to the back of a shady corner of the parking lot, and Kyle put out his bowl. "Did you text Kimber?" I asked him while he hit it.
Yep.
He said through tight lips to let the smoke sit in his lungs and then blew it all over my dashboard.
She went home around fourth period. She said her mom called her and she was going home to take care of her. I don't know, man.
"Doesn't her mom hate you?" I asked, taking my turn with the bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fairly new development ever since Kimber and I started dating. But I'm pretty sure she's always hated me and just hid it better before. Now that she's all depressed and whatever, she doesn't give a shit.
It's hard to picture anyone hating Kyle. Why can't Kimber's dad take care of her?
I don't know.
I hit the pipe again.
Hey man, let's not even go back today.
Kyle said. "You think?"
Yeah, I mean, you put in 4 periods, you've been a good son, and Officer Dickass already came around and collected the attendance sheets.
Tick ass. Really? You're better than that, man.
Officer Ass Dick?
You're fucking baked, Kyle.
Seriously, man, let's go.
Thought about it a second and Kyle was right. I'd done my duty as a son and I'd left now. I'd have enough time to go to GameStop before work. Fuck it. I turned on the ignition. Kyle sat up in his chair, rolled down the window to clear out the smoke.
Hey man, can you drop me by Kimber's?
"Sure, but how are you gonna get home?
Can you come get me after work?
What if her mom throws you out again?
That was one time.
Why can't I just drop you off at home and you can take your own car?"
It needs new tires.
New tires, of course. What Kyle really meant is that his insurance had lapsed and he didn't have any money for gas. Anyway, he'd bought the car last summer after working double shifts at the convenience store for half a year. It was an okay car, newer, but I knew he'd wanted to impress Kimber, something he'd vehemently denied. Had it worked? Not in my opinion. They started dating in fall, and Kyle quit his job to spend more time with her. Kimber wasn't the type of girl to be impressed by Pontiac Bonneville, but Kyle was convinced that he had won her over. I was sure that all the car had really done was give him the confidence to ask her out. And now that its part in their romance has ended, the car sat in the garage in the Landy home collecting dust instead of memories. GameStop didn't have what I wanted, and neither did Driskin Games and Media. Since I had nothing else to do, I'd show up to work and hope that Mira wouldn't have let me leave early. Parked in front of the door, unsurprised to see Nolan at the front counter. There was only 3 of us that worked at the shop, and sadly I never got to see the other girl, Emmeline, who worked on the days I didn't. This is disappointing to me, since she was half the reason I applied in the first place. I went to the back to tell Mira I was there and found her slumped over her desk over a pile of receipts and paperwork. This wasn't an unusual way to find Mira, but something seemed different today. I immediately felt a disturbance in the force, but before I could run away, she turned towards me and saw I was right to flee. Mira was crying. Uh, are you, are you?
I'm sorry.
She said quickly, wiping her eyes.
Is it 4 already?
No, it's 2:15. I just thought maybe I could come in early.
Oh, right. It's your ditch day.
Mira wiped her eyes, only to fill them again with tears.
I don't understand, Sam. This store has been operating in the red ever since I was hired to manage it. What am I doing wrong?
I don't know, offered namely. The instinct to escape never grew stronger.
No one comes in here, ever, and Mr. Prescott refuses to let me put signs up to advertise. He says they're unsightly. But how does he expect me to pull in business? I need this job, Sam. God,
I must have looked like a frightened deer because when Mira glanced over at me, she seemed suddenly to collect herself.
Go ahead and go out to the front. I'll do your time card.
She didn't have to tell me twice. I really liked Mira, and I hated seeing her like this. Her friend didn't end up being much either. I could hear Mira crying over the store's dated music track. Her sobs went from painfully audible to muffled whimpers. After half an hour, I decided I had to do something. Since I was entirely unequipped to deal with an adult woman's emotions, I decided to call Mira's husband, Owen. He was thankfully at home and answered the second ring. "They'll be right
Are
there."
you?
I breathed a sigh of relief when I heard a car pull up on the outside and saw the tall, girthy Owen get out of it. He walked in during a quiet lull in his wife's breakdown. "Sorry to call you
It's
home, Mr. Daly. I just didn't know what else to do." "It's okay, Sam. You did the right thing." He looked tired, and I could tell the situation wasn't new to him. Is she... is she gonna be okay?" "Oh, yeah. Just going through some things." "Oh, Mira said the store's going bankrupt, too?" I winced as soon as the words were out of my mouth. "Yep." Owen ran his hand through his hair. "It's a part of it. Although I don't think Jim's gonna let that happen. Mira's more shit about, he sighed. Has Mira told you about her, appointments?" Uh, no." "Well, we've been trying to get her pregnant for years. Long, painful years. It's so goddamn important to her to have a baby. And you know, she blames me for all problems." He walked around the room, staring at the pictures, not really talking to me anymore. "Can't understand why it's important to her. I just don't understand the obsession with it, you know. I mean, since she's the last person in her family, because she's the last McCaskey on the planet, I mean, does she even realize a baby wouldn't be a McCaskey? She'd be a Daly. I tell you, Sam, never marry a woman with a crazy father and 4 dead uncles. They develop obsessions with lineage and... 4 dead uncles? What? Oh yeah, the famous ones. You know, 4 brothers who died in the Driskin mines. Well, that only left her dad, and her parents were able to conceive her, which only left me as her the last McCaskey and hope her family within the line. So of course, you know, see, this is all my fault." I looked at him
what?
blankly and sighed. "Sorry, kid, these aren't your problems, and, you know, they're way over your pay grade anyway. I'm sorry, I'm just stressed out these days, you know. Our fertility issues and Mira's absolute abhorrence to our only other option, it's..." How did they die? I was desperate to talk about anything else, and the stories of Mira's uncles interested me. "Kiski boys? Shit, I don't know. They died in the mountains somewhere. Um, well, have you heard of this skinned men?" "Skinned man? Yeah, I don't think so." "What about Borrasca?" Excuse me. Owen Daly skews his eyes shut and pushes onto his temples with his fingers. What? What does Borrasca have to do with anything?"
Owen?
Mira squeaked from the doorway. "Oh, baby, are you okay? You know, Sam called the house."
I want to do it.
"You do?" Owen asked dubiously.
I called him.
His eyes flicked over to me, and I immediately looked away. Another conversation I didn't want to be a part of. "Sam, why don't you take off for today? Mira and I will handle things here." "Okay." I mumbled and bolted for the door. Once I was in my car and backing away, I called Kyle. "Dude, fucking weird shit is happening in this town."
What happened?
"I can't explain it over the phone. Where are you at?"
I'm at Kimber's. Are you off work?
"Yeah, I'm coming to get you." By Kimber's, Kyle was meant sitting on the curb in front of the house, kicked off the property again. When I pulled up, Kimber came out and meet us on the curb.
I'm so sorry, Kyle. She's really upset today. She wouldn't even let me leave the house to sit with you. It's okay. Don't worry about me. I just want to make sure you and your mom are okay. We're okay, and my dad will be home soon.
Text us when he gets home, and we'll come and get you.
I wish I could. I'm babysitting tonight until 7:30. Maybe after that?
Sure. Kyle and Kimber hugged goodbye, and then Kimber rushed back into her house as something crashed inside.
So, what's going on?
Kyle asked, taking a drink of a warm Dr. Pepper sitting in my cup holder.
You're still wearing your apron, you know.
Mira had a breakdown, I said, peeling it off.
Really? What happened?
I told Kyle the full story, giving particular attention to the four uncles.
Yeah, the McCaskies. I've heard of them. Didn't know Mira was one, though I thought they were all dead.
Yeah, she's the last one. I was like, do you think Cassie doesn't do anything with the other disappearances? And it had been a while since I'd mentioned anything about the Borrasca. Kyle choked a little on the Dr. Pepper.
I don't. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe if the disappearances started around the same time,
How can we find that out?
maybe the cops? There have to. There have to be police reports.
Okay, but what if I couldn't ask my dad?
I don't know then.
What about like records? The historical society people? Maybe?
Oh, yeah. We can try them. They're over on Second. They share an office with Driskin's Arts and Antiques.
Made a U-turn and started back toward town.
Hey, why are we doing this?
I knew the question was coming. I'd hoped to have more answers myself by the time I had to give him one. Just Whitney. All I could say. Kyle didn't ask anything more. The Historic Preservation Society Drisking was at the back of the building. We had to walk through the antique shops as the owner, Mr. Dringer, eyed us warily. At the end of the short hallway, we found a small room with two desks pushed together. One was empty and the other was stacked high with books and folded loose paper. We could hear someone typing behind the stacks. I cleared my throat. Hello? A small woman popped up from behind the desk. I recognized her name as the same woman who'd given us the lecture in 5th grade.
Hello. How can I help you, boys?
She asked, walking out to greet us. Yeah, I have a few questions about Trisking's history, I guess.
Oh, great. Is this for an end of year report? Have a seat, boys.
She gestured to the empty chair sitting behind the other desk. I nodded at Kyle and he sat down, looking uneasy. Yeah, it's for an essay I have to write. Hey, you think I can? I think you gave us a lecture like 7 years ago at school.
Oh, yes. I give that lecture every year with Mr. Prescott. Yeah, it was with you and one other guy, too. Bald guy?
Kyle said, shifting uncomfortably on the wooden chair.
Yes, that was my fiance, Wyatt Downing. He passed several years ago. Oh,
Kyle said. So, Miss,
Scanlon. But you can call me Catherine.
she said. Catherine. I tried. I hated calling adults by their first names. We want to know about the McCaskey kids,
Oh,
Catherine said, shaking her head.
a dark part of history there, but still history nonetheless.
Yeah, so when did that happen?
And how did they die? Well, they didn't die. I mean, they certainly perished in the mines, but their bodies were never recovered, so we don't know the answer to that. I would think dehydration, starvation, and exhaustion killed them within days of getting lost down there. And to your second question, that was 1953, I believe.
And the mines closed that year?
Well, actually, the mines officially closed the year after. There was a legal spat between the city and the Prescott family, who wanted to leave the mines open until the bodies were found. The city won, and the mines were dis- condemned.
Wait, so why did the Prescotts care?
Don't you want to write this down?
Catherine asked. Kyle tapped his head twice with his finger. Catherine shrugged and continued.
Well, the Prescotts and the McCaskies family were closer related. Tom Prescott was paying teams of unemployed miners to go down in the mines and search for the bodies. The city had had enough of it. The mountains was unstable and they didn't want any more deaths. The mines had been abandoned years before and were structurally unsafe. After the city banned the recovery teams from the mines, members of the Prescott family started going down there themselves. Finally, the city had enough, and they had the mines collapsed. Bombs?
Kyle asked.
Well, with explosions, and that's what led to the incident. By this time, the mines had been unprofitable for a few years, and the city was quite broke. They hired a less than reputable company to collapse the mines, and, well, when they set off the explosions, they accidentally broke into Driskin's water table, and the city went into debt trying to purify the water of silt or an ore. It wasn't until 2 years later that things started getting better, thanks to the Prescotts who truly did revitalize Drusking.
Kyle's phone chirped, and he pulled it out of his pocket.
Kimber, she wants us to come over.
Okay. Thanks, Miss Scanlon. Catherine.
Sure, if you have any other questions, feel free to come by. We're almost always open during the day. Oh, or you can email me.
She dug into her jacket pocket and pulled out a loose business card. It was creased and had dusty smudge on it. Thanks.
So, what do you think?
Kyle asked when we got to the car. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? Why would the Prescotts give a shit if the town suffers after they refuse to help him find their family and we're actively working against them?
Maybe they forgave and forgot?
Does Jimmy Prescott seem like the guy to forgive and forget you?
No. And his dad is even worse.
Exactly. Maybe we should...
Turn here. Sorry, Kimber's been still babysitting and she's over on Amherst.
Yep, Amherst.
Okay. Here, sorry, Kimber's still babysitting and she's over on Amherst.
When we pulled up, Kimber was out in the front yard with two young boys who were playing in the driveway. She was holding a sleeping baby and waving to us. We parked in the driveway and she introduced to us the older kids. They gave us shy hellos and then ran off to continue the game. Once they left, we explained everything that happened to Kimber while she listened and rocked the baby in her arms.
Sam is right, that doesn't make sense, but why are we even concerned about something that happened decades ago? Whitney.
Kyle said so I didn't have to. A flash of surprise crossed Kimber's face and she walked over to put the baby down in his playpen. Then she walked back and pulled me into one of their famous super comforting, not at all awkward hugs. When she released me, she began to pace around the driveway.
Okay, so we think Whitney somehow got involved in all of this? You're right, if we want to figure this out, we need to start at the beginning. Phil is right. Every mystery in this town is one piece of a larger puzzle. All related.
She stopped and looked over at us.
We need to go to the source if we want answers. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I know he likes to hang out in the hideaway and get drunk with ex-sheriff Clary. No, Kyle, not Jimmy, his dad. Tom? He's so crazy, they put him in a home. He's the horse's mouth, though, isn't he? Jimmy isn't likely to know half as much as his dad. But
as Kyle and Kimber argued, I watched the kids chase each other around the tree in the front yard. There seemed to be something carved in the bark, words, not like the triple tree at Apricot Fort. I was too far away to read what it said.
you can do the kids.
Yeah. He got you! He got you! I heard one of the youngest call to his brother. The skinned man got you. Now you have to die. Peter, I was touching the tree. No, you weren't. You're a liar. One of them got you. Now you have to meet the shiny gentleman. No, I don't. Kimber, Josh is cheating. I should have turned away from the tree. Where's the nut house? I told them. Is it close?
It's not a nut house, it's more like a hospice. The rumor the rumor I've heard is that he's at the Golden Elm, and that's in Cape. What the fuck?
Girardu? Girardu?
Garadu?
Girardu.
Garadu.
Oh wait,
We'll use
whatever.
that take.
Yeah.
That's about 40 minutes away.
Kyle said and put out his phone.
I'll check the visiting hours for Tuesday, Sam. Do you work tomorrow?
I work every day, but I'll get out of it. I promised.
Okay, cool. Let's plan to leave after school.
Did they dragged on like any last Tuesday of the school year? Most people talked about what they did with their ditch day or complained about a cop showing up at their house and issued them a ticket while sliding less than pleased looked at me. The bell finally rang at 3:30. I grabbed my bag and booked it to my car. Kyle and Kimber were already waiting for me. The drive took longer than we expected when I got lost in Cape Girardeau. The town was bigger than Drisking and the streets weren't laid out with any sort of planning or logic. By the time we arrived in Golden Elm, we had only 20 minutes left for visiting hours.
We're here to see Mr. Thomas Prescott.
Kimber told the nurse at the front desk. We let her do the talking since she had a disarming, old-fashioned charm about her that put people in a friendly mood. Old Tom? Wow, he hasn't had any visitors since Christmas, when the sun came up. Sign the check-in sheet and take a visitor sticker. Your family, then. Do you know where his room is? The nurse arched a thin, suspicious eyebrow.
I'm sorry, we don't. My mother has been asking me to check in on my great uncle while she's away doing Doctors Without Borders. I should have gotten more information from her, but she only has so many minutes to call home.
Of course, dear. Let me get someone to escort you. An orderly led us to Tom Prescott's room, which we found empty. He pointed down the hall and said,
He likes to read in the sunroom.
We walked down the hall and found an old man with sitting alone and whispering to himself, sitting at a table in front of a backgammon board, moving a chess piece around it.
Prescott?
Kimber said, smiling. He didn't look up, and I wondered if he heard her at all. Kimber took a deep breath to try again. The old man suddenly slammed his fist on the table. I'm him, goddammit! I'm Mr. Thomas Prescott! Don't call me Tom! People's kids used to have more respect.
I'm sorry, sir.
Kimber said gently as she sat down in the chair opposite from him. You kids have no respect. Do you even know who I am? It's my son that's done it. That's Mama's boy. Should have whipped him out. But she was soft, and now he's running around my town spreading his vulgarity and disrespect.
Our apologies, Mr. Prescott. We never meant to be disrespectful. We greatly admire you. You're the man who built our town into what it is today. Everyone remembers that. Drisking was suffering and the town was dying, and then you fixed it. We know that.
I did what I had to do, the old man grumbled. It was my town. It still is. Who are you, little girl? To come in here and suggest otherwise?
No, that's not what I said. And as for who we are, we're Marie Mackenzie's kids. Do you remember the Mackenzies?
Ah, so you're Ava's granddaughter. That explains why you're not there. We exchanged puzzled looks.
We're right here, Mr. Prescott.
You know what I meant, young lady. They all know. They know I rescued the town. That's my town. Of course, they were going to let me do anything I wanted as long as the money kept coming in. That's why it's my town.
Is the money still coming in?
Well, you hear, aren't you? They didn't like it, but they took the money away. They didn't know, not everything. They didn't, but they suspected some. And they must have been okay with it because they kept electing Clary and kept taking the money. Prescott picked up a pawn and ran it through his fingers over as he talked. It's just a powder, you know. So unassuming, fine, soft powder. The powder doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know if it's bad. It's the people who say it's bad. But it needed to be done. You know that, Ada. You know we had to do it. Kimber hooked him in.
I know. We had to do it, but it's your son. I don't think he's doing it right.
Well, of course he isn't! Nearly Prescott slammed his fist on the table again. 2 rocks tumbled on the floor. They were mine! He took them from me! He thought that he could do it better, but he took the mine and ruined my legacy. Decades of work, and now it's been run by the powder. It's the dust of the crumbled empire. What about the skinned men? I asked, caught up in the moment. What are you talking about, boy? He growled. And the treehouse, the triple tree. What is it? What is it for? Triple tree? I didn't authorize that. We paid triple the price, but only for a short while. When things were slow, we certainly never charged triple. That's bad business. Where is Has my idiot boy been telling you that? Did he offer you triple? Is he running my town, isn't he? God damn it, Jimmy, you get him in here. Ada, give my boy on the phone and tell him Jimmy I want to talk to him. You tell him that they're still mine. Ada, get Jimmy on the goddamn phone! Kimber jumped up and Kyle pushed her behind him as the old man rose to his feet, tall and imposing. We were backing toward the door. Orderly came in, a disapproving look on his face, and shoot us out. Long after we made it to the lobby, we could still hear Tom Prescott yelling for his son. The ride home was quiet, and I spent it trying to fit the puzzle pieces together. The skinned men, the triple tree, the shiny gentleman, the powder. These things have seemed to be pulled blindly from the ether, and random and meaningless. The veil over my eyes thickened and heavy, but I was closer to the Borrasca than I ever been before. I could feel it all around me, but I couldn't see it. I could almost touch it, but I couldn't comprehend it. Suddenly I realized that Kyle was pulling off the road, and I snapped out of my contemplation. He put the car on park and turned around to look at me in the back seat.
Is this really about Whitney, Sam?
Yes. Kimber watched us with worried eyes.
Why do you think that? The cops, I mean, even your father confirmed that Whitney ran away.
I don't believe them, I said as I clenched my teeth.
Look, Sam, we're getting pretty deep in here, and I am with you every step, but I have to know that there's a reason we're doing this. I'm pulling Kimber in too. I have to know this is important to you for the right reasons and not just an obsession.
I looked out the window and realized he's pulled over near the West Rim Prescott Over Trailhead. He was right to worry, and even more so to be protected of Kimber. Kyle was thinking it, and so was I. The powder. But Borrasca really did involve moving mass amounts of drugs. Did I want to involve my friends in it? I need to go further? This wasn't their fight. I love these people. I couldn't really risk their safety for my own curiosities and vendettas. But as hard as I wish I could let them go, I knew I needed them. I have to know what really happened to Whitney, I whispered. Kyle turned back around without a word, and Kimber placed her hand onto mine. I jerked my hand away and crossed my arms and then immediately apologized. Kimber just smiled in a forgiving way.
Sam.
He was interrupted by piercing a ring of Kimber's phone. She scrambled for her call to silence it. When she saw the name on the screen, she quickly answered.
Dad? Wait. What? What do you mean? Dad? No, wait. Slow down. Hello?
She took her phone away from her ear.
Something happened to my mom, and she's at the hospital.
Tears filled Kimber's soft green eyes. Kyle threw the car in gear and screeched off the parking lot. We made the 10-mile trip to the hospital in as many minutes, which was criminally fast on the surface streets. Kyle stopped the car at the emergency entrance, and Kimber and I ran inside. A deputy there was waiting. He refused to answer Kimber's desperate questions, and she led us to her father. When the deputy swung open the door, I saw my dad sitting next to Kimber's, and I braced myself for the worst. Kimber's dad took her in one direction, and my dad took me in the other. Before he said a word, I saw Kimber crumble on the floor on the other side of the room. I looked at my dad helplessly, and he gave me a sympathetic nod and pulled me into a hug. We sat down in the corner, and I stared at my hands as he quietly explained that Mrs. DeStar had gone grocery shopping around 1 o'clock, come home, put the groceries away, made 2 lasagnas, and made a meatloaf, and then put them in the freezer. She got in her car, drove to the hospital, and parked in the shade. took the stairs up the 7 floors of the roof and jumped off of it. She lived long enough to apologize to the MT who found her. I watched Kimber fall apart as her mother's body slowly grew cold in the morgue on one floor beneath us.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
Second part, what do you think?
It's crazy time skip. 7 years, or no, it was 9 years, right? Or it was 7 years, because yeah, it was 7 years. So the what?
It
Like
was like from
16.
it was like from elementary school to sophomore.
Yeah, so they're 16 now. Um, kind of crazy. Okay, so now they're trying to investigate a Whitney's death. And honestly, I thought, Sam would try to investigate much earlier. Um, but it kind of makes sense for them to do this now because they have their own cars and shit like that. I like the aesthetic of like going around asking questions, like very like detective-ish. But uh, there's so many things that were shocking. Like Sam having a job at like one of the worst restaurant shops in the fucking town,
Yeah.
owned by the Prescotts for the people he hates, but him only doing that so that way he can get with a girl that he saw, but we don't even like have an interaction with the girl that he saw. Uh,
Yeah.
mm, I
The
think Tom Prescott's character being like a fucking major schizophrenic, that's pretty cool and going like fucking insane.
yeah. He's like, what are they doing to my town?
There's clearly more to Jimmy Prescott, and I wonder if Clary has something to do with Jimmy, because Jimmy is
Yeah.
okay. Now we know that Jimmy's involved with some stuff, uh, or he's not as involved, but he knows what his father did. Um, so I wonder if Clary has connections with the Prescott family, and then fucking what's her face, Kimber's mom dying. Like that's crazy. As they're trying to get to the bottom of it, Kimber's mom dying kind of like puts a stake in their investigation. Like they can't really continue because another tragedy happened.
Yeah.
But I
Damn.
like it's just weird. Like why would she kill herself? What happened?
Well, I guess we gotta read more to find out.
Oh boy.
Next time on Texan Terrors.
Yeah. Well, that was about it, guys. We'll see you on the next video, and if you liked it,
That
please
was
like and subscribe. And if you haven't watched the first one, please do. I don't know why you're still here. Go watch the first one. Um, but yeah, that was
yes. This is gonna be very episode by episode. So if you go from like the second one on, you're gonna be a little confused.
yeah, it's gonna be a little weird, especially with the time skip. You're not gonna like even with the time skip, it's confusing. But if you haven't watched the first one, it's even more confusing. So I'd say go watch that first one. That way you can get a better grasp of the story. Um, if you have any recommendations, please let us know, and we'll catch you on the next one. See you later, you scary cats.
Bye.